Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're tackling a pretty straightforward question. What exactly is data science? Now, to totally demystify this, we're going to look at an everyday cognitive process that you already do literally every single morning without even thinking about it.
Let's just dive right in with this super simple universal dilemma that we all face right before walking out the door. It's a question that's been plaguing humanity long before weather apps were even a thing. Will it rain today? It sounds like a basic survival question, right? But honestly, answering it actually requires a surprisingly sophisticated chain of logic.
Think about it. When you walk up to your window, pull back the curtains, and look up at a vast, cloudy sky to figure out your morning routine, you aren't just taking in a nice view. You are actually performing the foundational step of a highly complex technical process, probably without even realizing it. You're surveying an environment that is just packed with raw information. Because within milliseconds of looking out that window, your brain instinctively begins gathering all these scattered pieces of information. You aren't just seeing the outside, You're registering distinct variables. You're noticing the heavy, dark gray accumulation of those clouds. You're observing the tree branches swaying, basically measuring the speed of the blowing wind. And this brilliantly illustrates the very first formal stage of our framework, data collection. As you factor that sudden drop in temperature into your mental ledger, you have successfully gathered your primary data points. In the tech world, sure, this might look like digital sensors recording temperature decimals into some massive database. But right here, it's really just your own senses pulling in the raw facts.
Okay, so let's translate this everyday thinking into tech jargon. Your brain doesn't just hold on to the isolated facts of the wind and the cold. It immediately tries to make sense of them. When your brain remembers that a cold, windy, gray sky usually means a storm is coming, it's recognizing a pattern. And in the professional world, data scientists simply call this structured pattern a model. When it comes down to it, a model is really just a system of recalling past experiences to find similarities and structure in your current data.
Because your brain doesn't look at today in a vacuum. Subconsciously, it's comparing today's specific combination of cold, wind, and clouds against dozens, maybe hundreds of remembered mornings throughout your entire life to spot that crucial pattern. You are quite literally tapping into your own historical data set. Your internal logic is basically saying, hey, the last time the sky looked exactly like this, the temperature was this low, and the wind was this strong, it rained.
Now, all of this historical matching builds right into our third phase, prediction. Once your mental model has matched today's data against those historical patterns, it generates an output. It estimates the high probability of getting wet. But notice that it's rarely a 100% absolute certainty. Your brain might say, well, there's about a 75% chance of rain right now. It's a calculated forecast completely based on the strength of your current data and the reliability of your past patterns.
So, the really crucial point here is that this elegant forward momentum absolutely has to culminate in an action. We've just walked through gathering data from the environment, identifying the historical pattern or model, and making a probabilistic prediction about the future. But step 4, the decision, is where the true value is finally unlocked. Think about it. If you stop at the prediction, the entire process is essentially useless. I really want you to anchor onto this thought, because this exact concept, it's the entire point of data science. It is the absolute golden rule. It's not just about having the biggest database in the world. It's not about building the most mathematically complex, mesmerizing model. It is entirely about the decision that this whole process enables you to make in the real world.
The ultimate goal is never just to hoard fun facts about the weather, right? The goal is the final, tangible decision to reach into your closet and pack your umbrella. That action, protecting yourself from getting completely soaked on your commute, is the return on investment for all that cognitive processing you just did. The data informed the model made the prediction, but the decision is what actually changed your reality.
Now, we can take this simple human framework and scale it up to a massive industry-wide level by entering the data science loop. Notice how we've moved from a linear morning routine into a continuous reinforcing cycle. When big institutions apply the data science loop, they are doing exactly what you did at the window. But instead of using human eyes and memories, they're using massive databases and machine learning algorithms. This concept is absolutely crucial. It is the engine literally driving modern industry today.
It's wild to think about, but the exact same 4 steps you use to avoid the rain are being used to answer some of the highest stakes questions in the modern world. Every major industry has its own version of "will it rain today?" They all have some unknown future event that they desperately need to predict in order to make a profitable or even life-saving decision right now.
Take a look at these two massive pillars of society, healthcare and finance. In a hospital, doctors act as the data scientists. By collecting thousands of patient data points, like blood pressure, family history, lifestyle habits, they identify historical patterns to predict severe health risks. And the decision? Intervening early with a life-saving treatment plan. Similarly, by gathering financial histories, income data, and credit scores, banks build models to predict if a loan will default. Their decision is whether to approve or deny the mortgage. They are relying on the exact same structural loop you used this morning looking out the window.
But it's not just for life or death or massive financial risks. The data science loop dictates our leisure time too. Even streaming platforms gather immense amounts of data on your viewing habits. They track what you click, when you pause, and exactly what you binge. They use all that data to spot behavioral patterns and predict precisely what show or movie to recommend to you next. Their ultimate decision is placing that specific thumbnail right there on your home screen to keep you happily engaged.
As we wrap up this explainer, I'll leave you with a thought to really spark your curiosity. We've established that you naturally build predictive models in your head every single morning using memories and sensory data. But what does it truly mean to build one of those models inside a machine? How on earth do we teach a computer to remember and recognize patterns the way our amazing brains do? Well, that is where the true magic of algorithms begins, and that is exactly what we're going to unpack next time. Thanks so much for learning with me today.